So continuing the Maimah in Pekudei, Maimah Torah Or, and we ended off yesterday speaking about the positive commandment, and within the positive commandments spoke about the superiority of learning Torah, and we compared it to outer limbs and inner limbs. So you have Pekudei, you have 248 commandments, you have 248 evorim, which is limbs, but within the limbs there is the evorim apnimim, there is the inner limbs, and there's the outer limbs. We saw in the laws of Treifus that if the animal has a pierced ear, it's still kosher, but if it has a pierced lung or punctured lung, it's not kosher. Why? Because the life is dependent on these limbs. On the other hand, the life is not dependent on the ear. If you have the animal is numbered in its ears. Vanim shel yuvon. So holding vanim shel yuvon. And the af al pi shein lo guf en lo dmus haguf. In the song Igdal Elokim Chai, we say that Hashem has no guf, doesn't have a body, and he doesn't have also Dmut HaGuf. He's not even looking like a body. Im kol zeh divroteo koloshim b'nei Adam. The Torah still spoke to us in human terminology. V'yesh gam ken bechinas pnimius v'chitzonius. There's also the inner and the outer levels. V'derech klal, in the mitzvah esek haTorah kivyochel b'chinas evorim pnimim. So it says the mitzvah of learning Torah is associated with the inner limbs. Because Torah was generated from wisdom. It's written in Koheles that the wisdom of the person will be illuminating his face, will be radiating his face. He'll have a radiant face if he has Chochmah. Chochmas Adam Torah Panav. U'cheinyan, as it brought in the Gemara in Yerushalmi in Shabbos, it says, Tzavu Panav shel Rabbi Abau. The Rabbi Abau, this is it's mentioned many times in Chassidus, the statement, Tzavu Panav shel Rabbi Abau, that Rabbi Abau's face was beaming when he found another source, he found another reasoning, he found another explanation. His face was beaming. His face turned yellow. By understanding or comprehending something, it brings a radiant face. We said in the it's in Parshas Nosei, but we said in the blessings of the Duchni, in the Kohen says, Hashem should bring light, aura, of his face to you, his countenance to you. B'chinas pnimius, in an inner way. In the Zohar, when we say Oraisa Mechochmu Nafkes, so the Torah is generated from wisdom, is originated from wisdom. It means to say that the source of the Torah is from the wisdom that is above. So it'll be about with such pleasure finding another interpretation, finding another Tosefta, and it brought about intellectual delight, and that caused to Tzavu Panav, that his face was radiated. So we see that through intellectual understanding, it brings about also physically, it impacts the person. Eoras Ponim. Remember Razal, it's written in Tana Dever Eliyahu, Kol Hakir v'Shoine, anyone who reads, and Shoine, he repeats it. He goes over it. He repeats his learning. HaKadosh Baruch Hu koira v'shoina kenegdo. Hashem is reading with him. Whatever he reads, Hashem reads with him. V'inyan zeh sheHaKadosh Baruch Hu koira v'shoina kenegdo ugilu b'bchinas sof b'chochma ilo ki mitzad atzmo eino merech b'chinas chochma klal. What does it mean that Hashem is reading with him? So it's explained that there is a revelation of Ein Sof. Revelation of Ein Sof in Chochmah Elo, in the supernal wisdom. Because he himself, Kimitzad Atzmei, the individual himself, Einu Merech B'chinas Chochmah Klal. He's not on that level. So, what does that mean? That the light of Hashem, that by itself is not compared to Chochmah, or it's not equivalent to Chochmah. That light descends into Chochmah. And it says Hashem is koira v'shoina through the learning of, because of your learning. Because of the learning of individual. על ידי זה גילוי, והרי זה גילוי בחינת פנימיוס, וכמו במוח שבראש, שם גילוי פנימיוס החיוס. וזהו כי באר פניך נשאת לנו תירס חיים. This is we said in the davening in Shmoneh Esrei, באר פניך, with the light of your countenance, you gave us תירס חיים, your living Torah. So, as we mentioned before, every mitzvah brings about a drawdown. There's always hamshacha. There's something that is drawn down from above that is similar to that mitzvah. Comes to limud Torah, comes to learning Torah, is connected with chokhmah. What are you bringing down? Eir Eloki, a godly light that is drawn into Hashem's Chochmah, the Chochmah Yisborach. And the same way that it affects the individuals and the person who learns, the individual who learns, it affects his face, like with Rabbi Abau. His face was beaming and shining. Tzavu panav, his face turned yellow. Similarly, when there is amshacha, there is a drawdown, through learning Torah, Hashem's countenance is, so to speak, radiating. Bechinas apnimius, the inner level. The same thing when we speak about Chochmah is an inner power. So similarly above, Chochmah is something that is inner, not the external. The Torah is called the Vorim Apnimim. We said before, the Torah is called the inner limbs because the Torah unites itself with the, so to speak, the brain above. And the brain above, the intellect, the wisdom, and the higher worlds is being united with the essence of the animator, with the essence of the giver. That's the Mittel Rebbe's interpretation on this. V'omnu be'esek ma'isa mitzvahs. V'omnu be'esek ma'isa mitzvahs v'amshocha b'bchinas sevar machitzonim. Kemo she'al yedei gemilut chasodim nimshach b'bchinas chesed d'ro yamina. Comes to esek ma'isa mitzvahs. When you're doing mitzvahs, you're tapping into avorim machitzonim. You're learning Torah, you're tapping into the inner limbs. During mitzvahs, you're tapping into the outer limbs. Comes to gemilut chasodim, act of kindness. What are you tapping into? Chesed. So why do we say in Tractate Peah, we say on Mishnah Peah, we say that Talmud Torah Keneged Kulam, the learning Torah correspond to them all, to all the mitzvahs, because Torah is Pnimius. Torah is the inner limb. Torah is the brain, so to speak. What happens through learning Torah? We mentioned before, Nimshach Or Yisborach B'Avorim Pnimiyim. The countenance of Hashem's of Hashem's light is radiating into the inner limbs. Obviously, upstairs there's no limbs, but referring to the inner levels. And mitzvahs, the amshocha is in evorim achitzonim, is what are you impacting in the higher worlds? If you're doing mitzvahs, you're impacting the outer limbs. You're learning Torah, you're impacting the inner limbs, inner levels. It says, "Anistor is LaHashem Elokeinu." The pasuk says, "The concealed are to Hashem." V'aniglos, and what the revealed is to us. V'aniglos to us and to our children. What is v'aniglos lanu levaneinu and Torah mitzvahs? What is revealed to us? Torah mitzvahs are revealed to us. Oisius vav kei sheb'shem havaya. The letters of vav kei that in the name of Havaya. We learned earlier that all the positive commandments are associated with vav kei, with the two letters of Shem Havaya. So it says, "V'aniglos," what is revealed to us? Torah mitzvahs, the vav and hey is revealed to us. Havav u'b'esek HaTorah Baruch Hu k'er u'shenik t'kenegdo v'ahei u'b'mayis HaMitzvahs. So vav is associated with the learning of the Torah. That you'll be learning, you'll be reading, and Hashem will be reading with you. And the hey is Ma'is HaMitzvahs. Hey is connected with the mitzvahs that we do, all the other mitzvahs. So both of them, Torah and mitzvahs, they're both lights, they're both energies that is vested in vessels. They are both contained in vessels. Just one is dealing with the inner vessels and one is the outer vessels, but they're both contained in vessels. You're making a kli by learning Torah, and you're making a kli by doing mitzvahs. So when it says "V'aniglos lanu levaneinu," is referring to the vav in Shem Havaya and the hey in Shem Havaya. They're both revealed.
Rabbi, mitzvot lo taseh, you don't make a kli.
Yeah, so I think he's getting there. Right now we're dealing with mitzvahs aseh. V'zeu zichri im Havaya she'el ramach aynu shaldem mitzvahs aseh nimshach yichud vav kei. We said before, there's shmi leilom v'zeu zichri leder v'der. Right? I think it was in the beginning. We said that the pasuk zeh shmi leilom that we say in Parshas Shmois, Perek Gimel. We said Shmi with Yud K comes together to 365. Zichri with Vav and Hey comes together to Ramach Mitzvah Saseh, to the positive commandment. So it says V'zeu Zichri. What is Zichri? This is my remembrance. Together with Vav and Hey, which means with another 11, the numerical value will come together 248. Reish is 200, Chaf is 20, 220, Yud is 10, 230, and Zayin is 237, and then another 11, 247. Ramach, another 11 for Vav and Hey, the two ending letters of Shem Havaya. So we learn from that. What we're always creating is always some kind of a union that is being created, and when you do mitzvahs aseh, you create a union of Vav and Hey. The Vav and Hey are coming together. Two different powers that are coming together. Within that, we learned that the study of Torah is connected with the Vav, and the mitzvahs are connected with the Hey. Vav is associated with the Evorim HaPnimim, with the inner limbs, and the Hey is connected with the outer limbs. Okay. Learning Torah creates a union in the inner limbs, meaning Hashem is now united with his inner limb. Essence of Ein Sof is connecting with Chokhmah, with the brain, so to speak. Which Chokhmah is the inner limbs, and through other mitzvahs where Hashem is now, there's a union with his outer limbs, hands, feet. Aval, now we're getting to mitzvah loisase. Aval, Shmi im Yud, and the letter Hey, these two letters Yud and Hey, Shasa loitase. That's the 365 don't do's. Heinim shochim b'chinas Yud and Hey. The 365 are connected with the two first letters of the name of Hashem. What's the long name? Trigameton?
Tetragrammaton.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you forget the Kitzer? Is the Kitzer in your...
Tell them where we are at. Oh, I thought
Gimel.
Yeah, but wasn't there a Kitzer before that? No.
Yeah, he jumped.
Oh, you jumped. Okay, no problem.
Yeah. I said the Kitzel without reading it. Yeah. Explain what we learned. Aval Shmi Yud Kei Shasa Lo Yisase Heinim Shochim B'chinas Yud and Hey Shal Ze Nemar Hanistores LaHashem Elokeinu Shem L'mayla B'chinas Zov Kei. We said before, what is the niglos? Because the pasuk starts Hanistores LaHashem Elokeinu V'aniglos Lanu L'Voneinu Ad Olam. When we said Aniglos, what is revealed to us is Torah and Mitzvot. What is the Nistoris?
To Hashem.
Anistoris LaHashem. We said, but what is concealed? What is concealed from us? Things that are higher than the Vav and Hey. The Yud and Hey are concealed from us. Vav and Hey, since it's connected with Torah and Mitzvot, is revealed to us. Yud and Hey is concealed from us. Yud and Hey is connected with Lotase. Why we shouldn't eat meat and dairy? Why shouldn't we work on Shabbos, or turn on the light on Shabbos, or make fire on Shabbos? Why? Why did Hashem say it? You rested very nice. You wanted to rest. Why shouldn't it be my choice if I want to rest or not? But if I don't want to rest, with a lot of energy, I like to work also on Shabbos.
So it's still mitzvah, but it's concealed mitzvah.
So the loitase is hidden from us, meaning we don't really have understanding why shouldn't we do them.
Why? Why is like this? Why Hashem designed like this?
Why Hashem made it concealed?
Yeah.
So, Loshen Historis, Shenikru Kain Bechinos Yud Kei. It says in Eov, Job said, where is wisdom? The wisdom will be found in Ayin. You want to find wisdom, you have to get to Ayin. Chochmah me'ayin timot. Pirush, what does it mean? She'achochmah reishis agilu b'ishtalshelus. Vayud Hashem Havaya. First of all, it tells us, Chochmah is the beginning of revelation. That's the beginning of Ishtalshelus. Chochmah is the first level, right? You have Keser. What comes right after? Chochmah. Chochmah is the beginning of Ishtalshelus. What is representing Chochmah is the Yud. Right? We said Yud and Hey is the things that are concealed from us. And what is representing Chochmah is Yud. Yud Hashem Havaya.
What's Keter, Rabbi? What would be like the above that?
Meaning Keter means the things that are higher than wisdom. They're above the head. We usually refer to Keter, the will. The will that a person has is the Keter, or the pleasure that a person has from the association for pleasure. But the will is higher than Chochmah, because your Chochmah serves your will. Who works for whom? Chochmah works for will. You want to build a house. You have a will. Now you have to use, a lot of smart people have to satisfy that will. You get an engineer, an architect, contractor. People have to put their mind to it, make plans. So we find that the Chokhmah is serving the will. The will is higher. So will in Chassidus is Keter. So when it comes to Sfiras HaChokhmah, we're dealing now with Chokhmah. Chokhmah is called Reishis HaGilui, the beginning of the revelation, and it's hinted in the letter Yud. And on that it says, V'achokhmah me'ayin timotze. That the Chokhmah wisdom is the beginning of Seder Ishtalshelus. What is the level that is higher than Chokhmah? Keter. So where does Chokhmah come? From Ayin. Keter is Ayin. Many times I would say the hardest thing is to find someone's real desire. What is your will? What drives you? That's hidden. You can see a Chokhmah, you speak, you can understand your Chokhmah. What is your will? The will is hidden. Right? It says, where does Chokhmah comes? We said Chokhmah is Reishis HaIshtalshelus, meaning Ishtalshelus starts with Chokhmah. But who gives Chokhmah? Keter gives Chokhmah. So when Keter is Ayin, Keter is concealed. So Eov says, a Chokhmah, where does Chokhmah come? It's from Ayin.
From something concealed.
Yeah, the Chokhmah is originated from Ayin, from something that is hidden, concealed. In Chokhmah itself, we know that Chassidus explains that Chokhmah is a level that it's Baruch HaMavrik. He said it's just like lightning that comes and goes, so you don't really have much understanding what Chokhmah is. It's the beginning of Gilui, Reishis HaGilui, the beginning of revelation. I think it's the seminal idea. It just started. So it's not something that you can really explain. It's like when something dawns on you as a epiphany or something like that, that you can say, wow, I think I got it. But if you would ask to explain what you understood, you wouldn't be able to explain it. Because that's Chokhmah. It's the Reishis HaGilui. So even Chokhmah is somewhat concealed.
And the Hey?
So Hey is already the expansion. The Bina. Hey is connected with Bina. There is already understanding to such level that you can explain what you understood. ועל זה אומרו רז"ל, it's written in the Gemara in Menachos, ביוד נברא העולם הבא, that the world to come was created with the letter Yud. פירוש, שמהחוכמה נמשך בחינס בינה. Chokhmah generates bina. Chokhmah makes bina. שמהחוכמה נמשך בחינס בינה. Shu avona v'asogas elikus. What is bina? Bina is already understanding elikus. Avona v'asog, meaning that you comprehend it, you grasp it. Shemimena shir sha'olam haba. Yesh v'nenim la'anchila v'yesh. It says Chokhmah is connected with Yud. What is Yud? Yud is the letter that created, Hashem used the letter Yud to create the world to come. Right? And he calls it Shoresh Ha'olam Haba.
Yud?
Shema'chokhmah nimshach b'chinas bina, shu'avona v'asogas elikus. Bina is understanding of elikus. Shemena Shoresh Ha'olam Haba. It's like this. When it comes to the Olam Haba, the world to come, what does it say? Lehanchil oy havayesh. Hashem says, I'm going to give inheritance to oy havay, to those who I love. What inheritance I'm going to give them? Yesh. That's the gift that they are going to get. Tzaddikim are called the beloved of Hashem. Hashem loves them. And what is their reward? Is yesh. What does it mean? So it says Yesh stands for 310. Shai. Shai in Hebrew means gift. What is the gift that you're giving them? What is the Shai that you're giving them? You're giving them Shai Olamis. You're giving them the 310 worlds. So it says L'han chilua vayesh. Why? What is yesh? Yesh is something that you can hold on to. It's tangible. It's a yesh. I can touch it. So someone that has understanding, not just chokhmah. Now he has bina, right? Chokhmah led to bina, so he can now he has something. It's something that he can hold. If you learn something, but you can't really repeat what you learned, you don't have it. When do you really have it? When you have bina, yeah. You can give it over. You really understand it. It's clear in your mind. You have yesh.
So this is the yesh after life, like?
No, saying once someone is able to have hasagam, he is able to have grasping in godly light, understanding godliness. Everything is in the level of yesh. Everything is not just understood by him, but it's also felt by him. He feels it. It's another level. It's a whole new level of someone that just has it intellectually, and someone that the intellect also affects his emotions. And what is it says that tzaddikim in the world to come, they are nanim, they're having benefit, enjoyment from the ray of the Shekhinah. They're benefiting from the ray of the Shekhinah. Why? When there is a complete understanding, there is joy. Same way that when you understand something thoroughly, you have joy. Same thing in Olam Haba, in the upper world. Where does the understanding, the grasping in the world to come comes from? In the upper world, where does it come from?
Bina.
From Bina, but Bina, where does Bina gets from? Bina gets it from Chokhmah. This is the meaning that the world, Olam Haba, the world to come, was created with the letter Yud. That in the world to come, it's Chokhmah. It's mainly Chokhmah. The emphasis is on Chokhmah.
Wouldn't you need the Yud to basically create any letter? The Yud is like embedded in all the other letters.
It's all everything starts with the Yud. Everything has to start with Chokhmah.
And is Olam Haba different than Ben Eden? Or is that like when Mashiach comes as Olam Haba? Or are we talking about like Ben Eden referred to as
Olam Haba, the uniqueness of that world is primarily associated with Chokhmah, with wisdom. It says that the grasping in Bina, even Bina in the world to come, is generated from Chokhmah. And this is the inner meaning that the world to come was created with the Yud. The expansion and the comprehension of Bina is hinted in the letter Hey, that has expansion, length and width. But where does it start from? Where does it come? From the Yud, from the Nekuda, from the dot of wisdom. V'zeu b'chinas yesh me'ayin. When we say yesh me'ayin, usually we in the simple meaning that Hashem created the world, something from nothing. But Nichsidus yesh me'ayin is a yesh, is bina, that came from Chokhmah, from the ayin. You see? You have ayin, we said Chokhmah me'ayin timotze. Eov said, where does Chokhmah comes from the ayin? From Keter, right? Keter is ayin. But now when it comes to Chokhmah and Bina, it's also yesh me'ayin. Chokhmah is the ayin, it's the concealed, it's still concealed, and Bina is the yesh. Yesh me'ayin. V'zeu b'chinas yesh me'ayin, ki ha-chokhmah yadayim b'chinas ayin. It says Chokhmah is still ayin. Why Chokhmah is still ayin? we said the Keter is Ayin. The Chochmah is still Ayin because it's called Koyach Ma. It's still concealed. Within Chochmah, everything is still concealed. Lefi Shemayiti Motza, and Chochmah was generated from Ayin, so it remains Ayin. It remains concealed. But when it gives to Bina, Bina is the Yesh. Bina can explain. I heard there was a Chassid, he used to, Chassid of the Alter Rebbe, he used to come to the young Hasidim after they would spend maybe a weekend by the Rebbe and they would listen to Mamorim. He would ask them to repeat some of what they learned. So some of them told them what they got from listening, how they perceived it, how they understand it. And some of them said, we were there, we listened, can't really repeat it. So he said that he had enjoyment from those who didn't repeat than from those who repeated. Those who explained it, in a way limited it. They brought it into, say, oh, this is the Maimer. By saying this is the Maimer, you're limiting it. Say, this is it. So he had more.
It's better not to understand.
No, it's not that they didn't understand.
You know how to explain.
Yeah, it's to bring it into it's like somebody tells you, a Chassid who asked, I think it was one of the Rabbeim that asked his Chassid, tell me what is Atzmus? What is the essence of Hashem? So he didn't answer. What are you going to say about the essence of Hashem? How can you explain the essence of Hashem? So he asked him again, what is the essence of Hashem? And he doesn't answer. 3 times, he doesn't answer. The first time he said to him, he starts to say, well, this. Then he said, stop. You can't really explain the essence of Hashem.
What about the concept of being able to teach at university level and also teaching a child and having to condense your knowledge into simple terms and simplify? That's the hardest part for me. People ask, what did you learn all week at Chabad? And it's like, okay, well, do you have 3 or 4 days, like an hour for each day for me to try to explain? Because it's so much. And people want like a 5-minute version, but seems impossible. I mean, to put into words is already difficult, but then to put into a short time, that's what I can't seem to tell people in a time where they can sit there and hear me. Because it goes in so many different tangents and it connects it all together. That's so tough.
Yeah. That's why you have to do. You have to summarize. They try to summarize every day what was taught, and then you can somewhat repeat the ideas that were discussed. You have to go to. You have only 5 minutes. You can speak about the ideas that were discussed. Anyway, it says. ואומנם בחינס העין שממנו תימוצא החוכמה הוא בחינס שלפני כל ההשתלשלות זה שם הווי. ועל זה אמרו בספר יצירה, it's written in the ספר יצירה, attributed to אברהם אבינו, פרק א', לפני אחד מה אתה ספר? It says in ספר יצירה, what do you count before 1? He asked the question in ספר יצירה, לפני אחד, before 1. Mata Sefer, what are you counting? Uchemaimer, it's written in, we mentioned it before, in the Zohar, Antu Chad v'lo b'chushbon, in Posach Eliyahu. You are 1, but not through a counting of 1, 2, 3. Because if you say about Hashem that He is 1, then who is the second? And who is the third? So you say, Antu Chad, you're 1, but not with a 1, 2, 3, not in a system of 1, 2, 3. There, it's a place where there's no asaga, there's no understanding, there's no revelation. No thought can grasp Hashem. All we know is that Chochma is Reishi Sagilu. Chochma is coming from Ayin, from Keser, And Chokhmah is Reishis Agilu. Chokhmah is the beginning of revelation. That's how everything starts to condense. So the fact that you understood something, or that you had the epiphany, it's the contraction. Reishis Agilu, meaning it was contracted to your mind. The source of Chokhmah is from Ayin Amiti, from the true Ayin. Chokhmah is not a true Ayin, because Chokhmah you have already understand. It's called Koyachma, it's hidden, concealed, you can't explain it. But there's still something that you had, you received something, even we call it lightning that came to you. It came and go. But you had even a split of a second of an understanding.
It's contracted, but Rabbi, we didn't have before, so it's a higher level maybe.
Of course, Chokhmah is the highest level. In Seder Ishtalshelus is the higher level, but it is Seder Ishtalshelus, the beginning of how things are descending. So the source of Chokhmah is a true Ayin, right? Keter is a true Ayin. Shelamaylam is Seder Ishtalshelus. That's higher than Ishtalshelus. And on that it says, Antu chad v'lo b'chushbon. You're one, but not with counting of 1, 2, 3. Yochid u'miyuchad. When you say Yochid, there's no two. Say Echad, in Hebrew you say Echad, and you have Shtayim. 1, then 2. You say Yochid, there's no such a thing. Yochid is, there's no such thing as second when it comes to Yochid.
Can you tap on Keter, Rabbi?
Can we tap into Keter?
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
jump from Chokhmah.
Yeah, we tap into Keter. So when we say Antu chad v'lo b'chushbon, means that it's not in the Spheros. It's higher than the Spheros. Starts from Chokhmah, and chad v'lo b'chushbon. It's not in the accounting. It's chad, it's one, but not in the Seder Ishtalshelus. It's higher than Seder Ishtalshelus. But the Ayin that is within Chokhmah, that Ayin is already Reishis Agilu. It's already the beginning of revelation, which afterwards will go into Bina, which Bina will be the expansion and the understanding. Zoshom Wazal, Rabbi said in Tractate Shabbat, Kivrioso shel Olam. The creation of the world started off with darkness. In the beginning, darkness. And afterwards, light. The Gemara in Shabbos says. Why? What is Ne'ero? What is light? Light is Chokhmah. And we said what? Chokhmah is from Ayin. Chokhmah comes from Keser, right? In the beginning, it's darkness. It has to start off with concealment. What is the Elam V'Ester? The concealment is that there will be no revelation from the Ayin. The Ayin will remain in Ayin. The Keter will remain Keter. There will be no revelation from Keter. Bereisha Chashucha, it starts off with darkness, meaning there's concealment. On this level, it says that there is darkness. That's the side of Hashem, is darkness. So through the concealment, afterward, what comes down is Chokhmah, Reishis Agilu, the beginning of revelation. So if we try to analyze for a second what is happening between Chokhmah and Bina, and what's happening between Keter and Chokhmah. So Keter and Chokhmah is the Ayin that gives to Chokhmah, to the Ayin also. Chochmah is also an Ein.
Ein to ein.
Yeah. So Keter, but it's an Ein that is somewhat Yesh, right? Chochmah is the Reishis Agila. And then you have Chochmah that gives to Bina. What's the difference between the two? They're both an Ein that gives to a Yesh. Right? Chochmah is an Ein, concealed, and gives to the Yesh, which is Bina. And you have Keser, concealment, Yosh Choshech Sisroi, Bereisha Chashucha, beginning darkness. Hadar Neira gives to Chochmah. Says there is a difference. Big difference between the two. It says, I'll tell you the difference. Chochmah, when Chochmah gives Bina, there's no hefsek, meaning there's no separation. There's no removal of the essence from Chochmah in order to give Bina. When it comes to Keter giving Chochmah, you have to have Siluk Atzmus. The essence of Keter has to be removed in order to be able to give Chochmah. When it comes to Chochmah giving Bina, the essence doesn't have to be removed. The Kudas HaChochmah, Hi Atzmu Ba Lidei Gilu V'Yisachvus B'Bina. It says the very Chochmah itself is what is revealed in Chochmah, in Bina. They call it V'derech Hishtalshelus Ila Ba'ol, meaning they have cause and effect. So the cause would be Chochmah, and the effect is Bina. But on the other hand, when it comes to Keter, giving into Chochmah, right? When it comes to Keter, the Rotzim gives into Chochmah. You have to have a Hakedomas Siluk, you have to have first a removal of, and the concealment of the Ir Atzmi, of the essential light that is in Keter, has to be Siluk, has to be removed, has to be pushed aside.
It's the bitul of Keter.
Bitul of Keter, but removal of its essence. Its essence has to be removed.
Reminds me of the Yain we talked about, difference between pasteurized and Mevusha, where one loses a little bit in the Mevusha process, where pasteurized it still remains the same.
No, so the example that he brings, he says, look, what is the Torah tells us? The first there was Chashucha, first there was darkness, and afterward there was light. So in order to have Chochmah, right? In order to have Chochmah in the world, the beginning of Ishtalshelus, what does he have to do first? Contraction, he had to conceal. He has to conceal the light. Chashucha. What is concealment? Concealment is darkness. Choshech. That the Ayin should not be revealed. The Ayin has to remain Ayin. And because of that siluk, because of that removal, then there is Amshachat to Chochmah, Amshachat to wisdom. In the whole.
Yeah, but that's like the angel that presses right here before we were born, and then we forget everything, and then we were born, and now the Chochmah starts. But before that, it had to be concealed basically. It was all there. You knew all the Torah, angel presses here, then you forget everything, and you have to, and that's the Chochmah, I guess, would begin, the life, and then you start acquiring your wisdom again. But when you die, would that be like a similar thing that happens?
No, you have to think of it as you have a giver and a taker. There's two types of giver and takers. There's the Kesser that gives to Chochmah. Chochmah is the taker, Keter is the giver. And there's Chochmah that is acting like a giver that gives to Bina. And what's the difference between the two? So we said that one has to completely remove itself in order to give. Keter has to remove his Ir Atzmi, his essential light, has to be removed. So Ayin has to remain in Ayin, so it has to be concealed in darkness, and only then it can give Chochmah. On the other hand, Chochmah giving to Bina, it's giving itself to Bina, not removing itself.
Right.
His own self is coming down.